I didn't start talking to Doug until he was divorced. And we were just friends for a while, and then it turned into more. I went to people that I trusted and said, hey, I know I'm in a position where people are watching. I want to use wisdom, and I'd like for you to come and help, us walk through this relationship. And so they all said, well, we need to meet him and talk to him and find out what his story. And so they did. And they all came back and said, we understand his situation, and we believe there is a biblical reason. And we're good with you starting the dating process, but just kind of slow it down.
Would you say that grounds for divorce was present in this situation for Doug to leave and marry Joni?
My goodness. Well, that's a direct question, isn't it? No.
Hello, Anointed Ones, and welcome back to Anointed TV. I'm so glad you're here with us today as we dive into a story that has been the talk of the Christian media world for nearly 2 years now. The quick romance of day stars Joni Lamb and marriage therapist Doug Weiss has sparked countless questions, controversies, and even accusations. Today, we're going to explore the evidence, the timelines, and the statements that have left so many people scratching their heads. Doug Weiss claimed that it was his wife Lisa who abandoned him. However, evidence shows that he was the one who abandoned her, and Joni Lamb encouraged him to do so. Why? Buckle up, because this is a story you won't want to miss. Let's start at the beginning. Joni Lamb, the co-founder of Daystar Television Network, tragically lost her husband, Marcus Lamb, in November 2021. Marcus was not only her life partner but also her co-host on the popular show Ministry Now. His passing left a massive void in both her personal and professional life. But just months after his death, Joni began a relationship with Doug Weiss, a well-known marriage and sex therapist who was, at the time, still married to his wife of over 30 years, Lisa Weiss. Now, here's where things get interesting. Staunch fans of Daystar TV may recall a moment on one of Joni's shows where she revealed that she spoke with Doug Weiss for 19 hours on the night Marcus passed away. Yes, you heard that right. 19 hours. Doug, who was still married to Lisa at the time, was apparently a source of great comfort for Joni during her darkest hour. But this revelation has led many to speculate. Was there something more going on between Joni and Doug, even before Marcus's death? Adding fuel to the fire, Doug Weiss himself has made some eyebrow-raising statements. He once claimed that he was the first person to see Marcus Lamb in his casket when it was opened.
I was the first one there when they opened the casket before anyone was even there. And I find that ironic, because I loved Marcus. Sure. I love him as a man and what he's built and who he is, his kids, his family. I've loved him for years.
Now, while this could simply be a gesture of support, it has left some people wondering, was Doug's involvement in Marcus's passing more than just emotional support? Some have even gone as far as to suggest that Marcus's death should be re-examined, perhaps even as a case for forensic files. Whether these claims hold any weight or not, they've certainly added to the mystery surrounding this story. Now, let's talk about Doug's appearance on Daystar's Ministry Now in April 2022. This appearance has raised serious questions, especially when you consider the timeline. Doug filed for divorce from his wife Lisa in January 2022. Yet, here he was just 3 months later on national television, wearing his wedding ring and talking about his wife and kids. But wait, it gets even more complicated. Just 2 months after this appearance, Doug began a relationship with Joni Lamb. This directly contradicts Joni's claim that she and Doug had no communication until after his divorce was finalized in May 2022. And then there's Joni's passionate defense of Doug's decision to leave his wife. In one particularly revealing audio clip, Joni reads a statement from Doug about his marriage to Lisa. In the recording, Doug detailed the struggles in his marriage, accusing Lisa of suffering from intimacy anorexia, a term he popularized. He claimed she was always too busy for their relationship and intentionally withheld affection. Joni insisted that Doug had endured enough and that staying in a marriage marked by neglect was not honoring to God. Let's listen to a snippet of what she shared.
What? Affection?
Spiritual, emotional, praise, nurturing, all of that stuff.
So can you break it down for us? Like, did she just ignore you, not talk to you?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I was just trying to
Coming
understand.
home and being ignored for 3-4 hours a night. Why she would be on the phone or
Joni has read things to me, so I remember that, and it was horrible. It sounded like a black hole, like I had empathy.
If you really want to know,
Well, no, I don't want
50
to.
hours if you really want to know.
Not really.
I did read some in it. and that's part
We're
of-
good. We didn't want to focus on. We wanted to more talk to Joni.
But you asking why?
I believe you, and even if it looks like I have no empathy,
Let me give you details. So this is in the book.
I didn't want the details. I don't want the details. I want to move on to the next point.
This was intricacies.
No, Jonathan did.
That's all right. We don't have to go into the details. It's fine.
No, I'm just going to read a couple of these because we opened it up, so let's do it. Before kids, she was busy at work or with exercising, and she became busy with the kids. She's busy on vacation, busy on her phone, busy reading. Basically, I've heard I'm busy my entire marriage. I think the painful part for me began after I came to know what intimacy anorexia is. My wife too knows what her sickness is and how to cure it. However, she refuses. Her refusal shows that her behavior is truly intentional. That makes living with her heart more painful. She could choose to be more kind and affectionate, but she chooses to remain harsh and critical. I mean, there's a bunch more. That was his.
It is intentional.
Wow, that's heavy, isn't it? Joni goes on to say that Doug gave 1,000% to save his marriage, but it wasn't enough. She even suggests that staying in an abusive or neglectful relationship isn't honoring to God. While these are valid points, it's hard to ignore the timing of it all. If Doug was such an expert on marriage and intimacy, why couldn't he save his own marriage? And why did Joni, a widow still grieving the loss of her husband, feel compelled to step in and defend Doug's decision to leave his wife? Did Joni encourage Doug to leave his wife because she believed she was the most qualified person to replace Marcus, not just as her co-host on Ministry Now, but as her life partner? The questions keep piling up. Was Doug's divorce truly about an irreparable marriage, or was it influenced by his growing connection with Joni? And what about Joni's role in all of this? Did she see Doug as the perfect replacement for Marcus, both on and off the screen? These are the questions that have left fans and critics alike demanding answers. Things escalated quickly. By February 2023, Doug announced his divorce from Lisa, and by May 31st, it was finalized. But here's the kicker. Doug continued to counsel couples at his marriage counseling center without disclosing his own divorce. Many have called this deceptive, arguing that his personal life should have been transparent to those seeking his guidance. And then there's the Empire State Building incident. Doug claims that God told him to take Joni to the top of the iconic landmark and give her a Tiffany ring. While some see this as romantic, others view it as manipulative, especially given how quickly their relationship progressed. Reports even suggest that the two were heavily making out during their early dates, which has raised questions about their self-control and the spiritual foundation of their relationship. While Doug and Joni maintain that their relationship is divinely ordained, many are left wondering, was this truly God's plan? Or were there human emotions and desires at play? And what about Lisa Weiss? Shouldn't her side of the story be heard before we label Doug as the victim in this situation? Despite the controversy, Joni and Doug have moved forward with their relationship, even publicly affirming it as being of the Lord. But for many, the questions remain. Was this a case of divine intervention, or was it a carefully orchestrated plan to replace Marcus Lamb, both in Joni's life and on Daystar's Ministry Now? Was this relationship truly ordained by God, or is there more to the story? I want to hear from you. What do you think about this controversial romance? Do you believe Doug and Joni's relationship began innocently, or do you think there's more to the story? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that matter most to you. Thanks for watching, Anointed Ones. Remember, we're here to seek truth, spread love, and shine a light on the stories that shape our world. Until next time, stay blessed and stay curious. God bless.